Behold, 2 times Tyler is here and is ready to party.
NANI?!
Welcome back, everybody, to Season 3 of Casual Master Quest. This is episode 41. I'm going to be your host tonight. Your beautiful, luxurious, as Nick likes to describe me, Tyler Vidito. But of course, let's not forget the champion of the hour and the half, maybe 2 hours, depending on what we do. Things might get controversial, but let's look at the other partner, co-host person, Nick.
Things are definitely getting controversial. Things are definitely getting controversial, Tyler. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
That's all, folks. Nick.
That's me.
Nickelodeon.
That's my name.
That's you. That's your full name, Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah, that's on a sidetrack there. I know that I'm going to Starbucks too much because everybody at the campus Starbucks knows me now.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
I don't even have to give them my name now. Whenever I put in my order, they're just like, "Oh, what's up, Nick? How's it going?" I'm like, "All right, cool. Yeah, just give me my iced coffee. I'll be off then."
I think I'm gonna be extra worried for you if you ever say I'll have the usual and they know exactly what you want.
I know I like to keep them on their toes. I generally do get a nice coffee, but every couple of days I'll throw in like a latte or like a mocha just to be like, give them something to think about in the morning.
Realistically, do you think they give a fuck?
No.
Oh. Well, this went sad. This went real sad. I just came back about maybe 2.5 hours ago. I was extremely hungover. I'm currently fighting off the woes of intoxication, but I'm doing okay. I've eaten food, I've hydrated myself, and we have so much to talk about. Nick, what's been your week look like? What?
My
the hell
week
did
can
I
look
just say?
Since we last recorded, I think the last time I spoke about us looking for an apartment. So a little bit of an update on that. The couple of places we applied to, we didn't get. No, I think we only applied to the one place we didn't get, but we gave it our 30 days notice.
Ooh, dun.
But we don't have a place yet. The final straw for that was taking a dump and seeing a mouse run across the floor. And if I can't even have peace of mind in my own bathroom, I'm fucking done. I'd rather couch surf for a few weeks before we find a place than live in this hellhole. Shithole. Sorry, it's not a hellhole. Like there are hellholes, but this is a shithole more than a hellhole. Anyways,
what's worse, a shithole or a hellhole?
I think that would be a subjective answer, a subjective point of view. It really depends on, how would you even describe? What is the dictionary definition of a hellhole?
Estonia.
Moving on.
Oh, sorry. Did I just get controversial? My bad.
That's probably not going to upset anybody. And that's the second part.
I'd like to apologize to our Bolivians, our Estonians, anybody that's over there in that area. People of Belarus, I'm so sorry. Anyways, so you are you're officially kicking yourself out of the apartment due to a lot of mice and other issues.
Yeah.
You've gotten into your major?
Yes. So before I get to that, when I went to hand in our 30 days notice, there was a lady at the rental office, because our management company owns a couple of buildings across BC. There was a lady at the rental office, and she was like, "Oh, we're really sorry to see you go. What's going on?" And then after talking to her, I learned that she was a recent hire, and the management hired her to deal with all the shit, and then they went on vacation. And so she has no ideas what's going on with all the buildings. And so when I was listing out all the problems, she was genuinely surprised, because I went there ready to fight and give them a piece of my mind as I gave in my 30 days and tell them to go fuck themselves. Because
were you worried that they were going to try to retain you in some shape or form?
No, I just wanted to tell them off. You can't run a company, you can't run a business, you can't treat people like this. But anyways,
I mean, you can. It's just, bad.
It's unethical. Yeah. No, we've been dealing with the mice since November. But anyways, I was telling her about all the issues. She's like, "Yeah, I would have moved out a while back too." I'm like, "Yeah, we would have too, but we're just lazy." But then the mice in the bathroom was the last straw. But yeah, no. So that's what I'm done with. We have, as of the day we're recording, it is the 3rd of March. 28 days 27 days till we have to leave this current unit. We've applied to a few places, so we'll see. I'm hopeful we'll get something. Otherwise, I'll just deal with it. But yeah, my major. So I started off studying computer science at my university. Didn't go so well. Second year failed out a bunch. I was either required to withdraw or take one of their like boot camp courses that sort of helps you deal with learning, like figuring out strategies to learn how to be a better student. I went through that, and while I was going through that, it was a 6-month-long process. While I was going through that, I was exploring all the different options that the university had in terms of courses and programs, and I found the program that I'm currently in, which goes into more of an artsy design field, but it does have opportunities to incorporate programming, because I do enjoy programming. It's just I'm not a back-end kind of person, not a hardcore theory kind of person, and so I found my program, but because I was in that boot camp thing, my overall CGPA, my grade point average was pretty low, and the internal transfer requirement out of a possible 4.33 CGPA was on average about 3.5, which is an A- average on all your courses. So for the last 2.5 years, I've been trying semester after semester, applying, getting denied, until I finally got in. I got the email a few days ago. And now it's official. Despite it being coming so late, it at least helps me get into courses a lot easier, the courses that I need. And now I'm recognized officially as a student of that faculty by the faculty. So I'm no longer, quote unquote, discriminated against for certain things, because there's certain things like looking for internships and stuff where you go through the services provided by your own faculty. So the computer science program was in the Faculty of Applied Sciences. My current program is in the Faculty of Communication, Arts, and Technology. And so if I wanted to look for internships, what we call co-ops, I had to go through the computer science faculty, Applied Sciences, but I would have had to take extra courses that I didn't need to, which in my position would be a waste of money, because I pay 3 times the amount as an international student. And so it was just a lot of political and unnecessary headaches that finally resolved itself after 2.5 years. And honestly, it's a big weight off my shoulders. It's a big weight off my parents' shoulders as well, because now I officially have a graduation date. Nice. If I don't get any internships, I graduate next year, April. Well, that's my last semester. I finish next year, April.
Hot damn, dude.
Yeah, finally.
Shit.
Light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
Oh, man. It's so weird at the idea of you actually having to work.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
I'm sorry. I'm not throwing shade at you.
No. I understand. No.
I am actually throwing shade at you.
I know. But no, I'm excited to see my time's coming, dude. I'm really excited. It's scary. It's scary as fuck, but it's coming.
It is. And you're getting a little bit closer. Over on my end, things aren't quite as crazy, I'd like to think. But maybe not crazy, but you got a lot riding right now that has happened. I got a couple of little things that happened pretty much. I visited Nick this weekend. Just came back from it. Hence why I was hungover as all hell. As it turns out, drinking a lot of beer. As it turns out, a pitcher is a lot bigger than what I expected it to be. It was very big. So when I ordered one for myself, and I had an hour to drink it, it turns out that's quite a bit. I went back to the house. We watched the movie Into the Spider-Verse. Have you heard of it?
I haven't watched it yet. I've been meaning to. I just haven't had the time to.
I believe it came out in movie theaters like either the 24th or 25th of December. And Nick, I think it was on PlayStation or something like that he was able to watch it through streaming. So got into that. It was a very nice movie. I was a little bit worried at first. It was kind of weird, but got into it like crazy. White doesn't like Spider-Man. She couldn't keep her eyes off of it. And during that time, I also had a bunch of whiskey, which...
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course I did. And I don't like whiskey, but...
No.
I mean, I just have to hate the taste of it for like 15 seconds. So, what happens afterwards, it's between me and...
Yeah, once you get drunk enough, you just stop tasting.
Yeah. I didn't get that far, but... that whiskey totally gave me a hangover like you wouldn't believe. Well, I'm sure you could believe it easily. And throughout the week, back and tracking just a little bit. I had some good times. I played a bunch of games with Nick and all that stuff. I'm trying to think of anything wild that we did, but it was just a really chill weekend for the most part. I'm hoping to do some crazy, stupid shit tonight. We'll see, though. Beyond that, though, I've been spending most of my week riding passenger. Thankfully, that's going to change thanks to somebody going on vacation next week. And I rediscovered something, Nick. It's called Goodwill. Have you heard of
Right.
Have you heard of Goodwill, Nick?
I honestly, I don't know if we have it up here, or at least I haven't seen, but we have variations of it, but I am aware of what it is.
Okay. And not many people know this. Some do. Goodwill actually has an online auction version of their site. I apologize. My cat made this god-awful noise that just scared the shit out of me. And I don't know what the fuck happened. I just looked down and I hear I'm like, hairball? God, are you gonna die? It's just sniffing the pillow my dog came back in on. Anyways, Goodwill. Jesus, that scared the shit out of me. Onyx, stop scaring me. I was not even paying attention. Fuck you. Just throw my candle at him. Anyways, before I burn my house down, I need to get back on track here. Goodwill auctions is a nice thing. It's almost the same similar style as eBay. And so the idea that I can go online, buy other people's stuff that, that pretty much gave it up, they're going to put it at a remarkably cheap price and then just let the will of the people decide what the price is, which is a bit different to that of eBay. It's mostly similar, but it's just very rudimental how they handle it.
Right.
And
it sounds like early days eBay.
Yeah,
like way
pretty
back
much.
in the day.
And unfortunately, I've bought a bunch of shit that I have absolutely no use for at all.
Right.
Like, I don't understand why I bought. Like, I bought 4 items. I don't remember one of them, but I'm sure I'm going to get reminded. Well, 2 of the 4 items have arrived so far. Oh, I remember the 3rd item. The first one that arrived was a rose pink Nintendo DS Lite. It's like, okay, I paid $14 for it. That sounds cheap, sounds good. Comes with the Nintendogs and all that stuff. It works. Why I need one, I have no fucking idea. Great Christmas gift or something. I have no fucking idea. The second thing I ordered, which hasn't arrived yet, is an Xbox 360 with Halo 3 ODST. I haven't owned a Xbox system since 2007 or when Halo 3 came out.
And you made a damn good purchase with ODST. And
I paid $30 for it, and I don't know how much something like that with with the game and all that stuff that works perfectly fine. We'll see. How much that would really cost me, I don't want to check. But it's a pretty good purchase. And the third of the 4 purchases, I'm going to save my 4th one for a good reason here. Is I purchased an Amazon Echo Plus, which
right.
I paid $14 for that. I found varying prices of it. I think it's 1st edition, which is the reason why I can't find the exact thing on Amazon. But it could, between $60 and $150. I saved at least $1 or something, I'd like to think. And so those are all within the range of reasonable, Nick. A DS Lite.
They're usable. Maybe you don't have a current purpose for it, but at least you can use it if you chose to. With the DS, the Xbox got a damn good game on it and make a nice collection piece. And you've got the Amazon Echo Plus where I'm not really sure if I want the full Echo or the current generation, so I could give this a try and see if it fits into my day-to-day routine.
Right, and if I don't like any of these things, I just throw them on the fucking wall with the Vita, which I got yelled at this weekend by Nick for that, as it turns out. I told him because he lent me the Wii U when he went overseas to serve, and I ended up buying it from him. I told him I still have it under next to my computer to use. He's like, "Thank you." I'm like, "For what?" It's like not putting it on the wall with the other shit I gave you. And it's like, okay, that's fair. That's fair. There is a 4th purchase for $10, Nick. And I don't understand why I bought this thing. And for the audio listeners, I'm sorry, you won't be able to see this. But I bought a fucking Roman sword for some reason. And I have no reason why I own this.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it has a nice...
All right, okay, so for $10, is that a real blade? Or is it dulled down? Or is it just a kind of halfway between costume piece to real actual blade?
The blade is absolutely dulled down, but
yeah.
I mean, you could totally stab somebody and kill them with it if you really wanted to. It is definitely not full tang. I'm pretty sure if I swung this around more than 3-4 times, the blade would pop off the hilt. But hanging it from the wall or keeping it for a cosplay piece, I guess it would look pretty good. But I mean, I told my wife the only kind of swords I'd ever want in my life are, video game related swords. Like I have the Master Sword hanging off my wall in the back there. So why the fuck do I now own a Roman sword? Just, because I saw $10 and there's 45 seconds left on it. It's
a fancy letter opener, Tyler. You got to reframe things to fit to justify them. It is a $10 oversized letter opener.
I was thinking about the idea of I own a gun, a 9mm, and heaven forbid I run out of bullets. I can challenge them to armed combat. I'll toss them that sword and grab the Master Sword and just take them down as needed.
And if you lose with the Master Sword, were you really a master?
I mean, I just have to wait 100 years and I'll come back and the world will be destroyed. So what's the worst that could happen, right? We'll return back to Breath of the Wild. I mean, that's pretty much what's been going on in my week. I own a fucking sword now. Another sword. Oh god, I'm gonna be that fucking guy that owns swords. No,
you are already the guy who owns swords, Tyler.
A sword, not swords. Oh no,
you own 2 swords technically, Tyler.
At this rate, when I own a nunchuck, I own katanas. I think there's a fucking katana downstairs. Fuck, I'm worried, man.
Man cave.
No, this isn't a man cave. This is. Are you sure you're not living with your mom in your basement kind of stuff? It's like, I gotta be careful, man. It's
all right,
dangerous.
and I'm holding up my fingers here to do quotations. Man cave.
Oh, man cave. Man-child cave. But at least I have video games. Nick, what have you been playing this week?
I went back to Destiny 2, played some Overwatch. I played a little bit of Apex Legends, not too much because the game crashes constantly, and I can't play a game consistently like that because it's just infuriating when you're in the middle of like a hot streak and the game crash, or you just load the game up and it crashes, or you try to double click it and it doesn't even launch because it crashes immediately. I hate it. I don't know what's causing the crashes. Nobody really does. They haven't really put out a fix for it, so we're just waiting. That's really the big reason that I haven't played a lot of it. Played some Overwatch because Overwatch League's got me a little bit hyped up again for it, and I'm just trying out different characters, trying to learn how to use them, learn positioning with them, specifically Sombra, because in the current meta, Sombra just shreds through. Sombra doesn't do a lot of damage, but she incapacitates a lot of the tanks. And right now the meta is GOATS, as it is officially called, which is 3 tanks, 3 supports. Usually the supports being Lucio, Zenyatta, and a healer of your choice, a third healer of your choice, usually Brigitte, and tanks being Zarya, D.Va, and Reinhardt or Winston, depending on the comp and depending on the map. And so a Sombra, once she gets her EMP up, she can knock down all the shields, all the defense matrix, all the support ults and abilities, and the team can just jump right in and clean up. That's
scary, actually.
Well, yeah, but she's hard to play at like a professional level, especially if the opposing team is paying attention. They know they have a Sombra and they're protecting their healers. It makes it hard, but it's still very, very usable. Then I started a co-op farm in Stardew Valley with some buds because we're getting tired of shooters right now. We're just it's called the Bro Venture. We're just a couple of bros just out just farming, cuddling up at night to save money on electricity. Nothing to. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. We're just hanging out, having a good time, fishing. Yeah, we're just bros on a farm.
God bless 2019.
But beyond that, Destiny 2, we're only playing. What an interesting game. I haven't been having fun with it lately, but we do have new content coming out.
That's why I'm glad I quit it long ago.
Yeah, but you're back on it. Tyler, do you want to tell people what you did maybe a week and a half ago?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would like to confess my sins. I have been playing Destiny 2. On both platforms, as it turns out. Nick only knows I've been playing on the PC.
Oh,
But this weekend, Nick owns multiple PlayStation 4s in the house. And so, yeah, I played Destiny 2 this weekend as well as on PC with Nick here. I got 2 different friend Nicks. And man, Destiny 2 is a game. And I think the reason why I'm upset is I haven't played some good-ass Destiny 2 this weekend. And I was all hyped for it. And some reason in my head, it's like, I'm going to play Destiny 2. And it's like, when? I was like, I don't fucking know. I'm going to play Destiny 2.
okay. Let me ask you this. So I asked you this a few nights ago when we were playing together, and I asked how nice is it to be able to play this game at 60 FPS, but you hadn't touched it on the PS4 in a long time. And then I'm assuming it was after that you hit it on the PS4. So
I know.
is this the right way off?
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the connection.
So when I was playing on PlayStation 4 versus on the PC, there's a couple of things I noticed. Playing with the controller, it sucks. It sucks so bad, Nick. Like I eventually got used to it, but it was still god awful. And just the precision I get with the mouse and keyboard is so much nicer, and it's really upsetting me. And it's like I wanted to, like, we did a Nightfall together. We did another like simple Vanguard mission of some sort. And then it's like I wanted to do some Crucible, but it's like I couldn't with the controller. I just felt horrible with it. And I didn't know what the hell to do with myself over it. And it was really frustrating, Nick. It's so frustrating. But in a comparison, you keep talking about the frame rate and stuff, 60 versus 30 and all that stuff. But honestly, I can't tell the difference. Sorry. It's weird. I can tell the difference in Breath of the Wild, but I can't tell the difference on Destiny 2.
That is strange. It confuses me how some people can't tell the difference in general between 30 and 60, but I'm not here to sit and start an argument or start pitching the console wars or the platform wars. My opinion of that has always been play where your friends are and play where you're going to have the most fun and whatever's most affordable to you.
I still need to get into a clan on the PC version, just FYI. So if you can hook me up, I would be most gracious.
I'll hit up my bud. We'll see what happens.
Wait, is your clan all super sweaty?
We're known as Destiny's Detriments, so possibly. But my the head of the clan, I'm sure he'd be. We're looking for people anyways, so. It's not like a super serious sweat clan, so we'll just
only a moderately serious. Like I played Crucible with you before. It was not pretty on my end. It was actually kind of rough, man. As it turns out,
I mean, for the kind of weapons you had, you did pretty okay.
I was doing okay.
Once you have weapons that you're comfortable with, I feel like you'll do a lot better than that because you're not a sub 1.0 player.
I mean, let's not get too crazy here. Like that first game, my floor got fucking mopped like a motherfucker. But after that, I was able to keep up with you guys for the most part. It's just it gets rough after a while. I forgot how crazy PvP can get on fucking Destiny of all the games. But we've been playing a lot more than just Destiny, my man. Was there any other games you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. I downloaded Fallout Shelter on my Switch.
Fallout Shelter? Why?
Because it's free. I'm a sucker for anything free. I'll be honest. And
if I shit in your hand and I call it free, are you gonna fucking slap it in your mouth?
Maybe not my mouth, but your mouth, possibly.
What kind of kink is that? Jesus.
Not a kink, just revenge, I guess. I mean, why would my hands be in that position for you to give you an opportunity to shit at it in the first place? Why would I be standing still? I asked the same thing with
Bethesda. Here we are.
That's fair.
I'm gonna throw it in Bethesda's face. Haha! I got a free game. Take that. It's made all over your mouth. No, you still lose.
Yeah, I just downloaded it to see what it's like. It's okay. Probably not my thing. I'm not gonna touch it again. Put about maybe 45 minutes into it. It's very much a management kind of game, like resource management, people management, city builders style, but set in the Fallout universe. And it has some interesting animations. You can make people fuck and get pregnant, and make babies. You get these awesome weapons. Loot boxes are in the game, and you can earn them just by completing daily challenges, which I thought was a pretty cool way to balance things out. The microtransaction is not like super in your face, so it doesn't feel like you need to pay to win. I know a few people who play the game who've never paid for it at all, and they've made like an insane amount of progress in the game. And some of the systems are pretty interesting and pretty unique, but it just didn't grab me. Yeah, that's it.
That's so sad. It didn't grab you. Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
I will be giving Tetris 99 a go now in a vid.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never played a lot of Tetris growing up, and so I know the gist of Tetris is just purely the controls that I'd have to familiarize myself with first before I played one game of it a couple of weeks ago. I think the day it came out. And I was just so lost. I had no idea what was going on. Plus, I have my Pro Controller now that just came in recently, so I need to try that out on something. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. Now you can play all sorts of games that start with L and ends with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But
Tyler, you know that game is coming, so stop bugging me about it.
I'm so excited that you get to play it someday. I feel like you're just saying this just to fuck with me. This has been a long con joke that you. Oh, I totally ordered it, Tyler.
I'm gonna find the email and I'm gonna take a screenshot of it and put it out right now.
Oh boy, don't share with the world. That's a lot of public information. Over on my end, I'll talk about the usual stuff. I've played Terraria. Right now,
what a surprise!
I know, right? We're on expert mode. We beat the wall of flesh, my wife and I, and we are in the process of trying to get a bunch of adamantine armor and all that stuff. Still hard as shit. I super 100% immediately regret ever playing it on expert mode. I would have happily played it on normal mode, but Tyler wants the challenge, so Tyler got the challenge, and now here we fucking are. But, sometimes I just need to get salty before I go to work every single time when I want to spend time with my wife, and we play Terraria and we do that. Other than that, when I've been on the road, a lot of 3DS time, so I've played and beaten Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the first game, alongside Link Between Worlds. Both were fantastic games, 100% recommend. I believe the Ace Attorney trilogy is currently $30 on the 3DS, and Link Between Worlds is $20 right now. A game I picked up and gave another shot, and this is what I'm working on right now, is I beat it a while ago, but Luigi's Mansion 2, Dark Moon. It's okay.
Is it okay? Did you have fun playing through it?
I'm having fun playing through it right now, but I feel like when I played it last time, I had a lot of free time, so I was able to tolerate the amount of backtracking and collectibles and other bullshittery items that you'd have to do if you want to get, a decent ending or get to the final boss or whatnot.
Right.
My only concern with it is I really wanted to play the first one, actually. And the first one actually came out on the 3DS recently. It got ported over. However, the Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS right now is $40 as a port. Whereas Luigi Mansions 2, Dark Moon is $20. And so it just feels weird, the idea that if I want to play the original, which came out many, many, many years ago, like almost, I would say over a decade ago. Yeah, maybe I would go as far as to say 15 years ago. It got ported over. It doesn't look like they upscaled any of the graphics besides making it, 16:9 instead of 4:3. And it just seems kind of disconcerting. And also shout out to Nick, friend Nick, who apparently is watching now. Ace Attorney is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on April 17th. Much better choices to play than the 3DS. However, I do like my 3DS right now. I'm on a binge with it, so I want to appreciate it. Beyond that, when I was over at Nick's house, I played a little Mario Party. Him, my wife, and I, and a computer that's on the easiest difficulty, but somehow fucking smart as shit. It's so weird how much I discredit the fourth computer player, and they go and serve and fuck us off.
Okay, but smart as shit or smarter than 3 intoxicated adults?
Okay, my wife was stone cold sober, and I was probably buzzing, and Nick, I believe, was lightly sipping on a whiskey. I'm not gonna lie. It's weird because it felt like it wasn't really a fourth player rather than an agent of karma and justice.
Right.
And so it served simply to lose everything that it could possibly get, but at the same time trim off the top anytime a player got ahead. the computer player's like, oh, I'm gonna steal a star from all you guys. You all have 4 stars. Which one am I gonna take from? And it's like, oh, you're probably gonna take the one that's in first place because of the most coins. And so the player's like, I'm gonna hit random, and it's like it's still technically random anyways. And it's like, what the fuck? And of course, it hits the player that had the most coins, which is me. Right. Fuck you. My wife won, by the way. She won and beat me by 1 star. Nick fully claims that he is the one that helped made sure that happened. I tell him to fuck off. Let's talk about something else. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I've gotten the chance to play an arcade version of that way back in the day. I had a arcade, obviously, but this is my first chance actually playing it on the PlayStation 4, and it was pretty fun for a fighter game. Yeah. This is probably the closest to a fighter game that I could play and enjoy. The only problem is, though, it's really button mashery for me for the most part, and I don't want to change that at all because right now Nick is able to beat me almost every time. Right. However, if I were to play it and actually get serious and learn how to do the button combinations, because neither of us have learned any of the combinations, it means one of us is going to get sweaty and one of us is going to start winning. The other person is not going to want to play, or they're going to get sweaty. And I can't do that to either of us. That's torture. No sense doing that to each other. And Destiny 2. Played some Destiny 2. I keep thinking about Destiny 2, man. It's weird.
Now with you playing, you'll actually be able to raid for the first time, and we'll be able to set that up. Not a problem. You okay there?
Yes, I was blowing out a birthday candle.
Okay. Yeah, so you didn't have the most expansive friend group on PS4. Not enough people to help Sherpa a first-time raider ever in the Destiny games through Leviathan and the other raids.
Okay, so in the PlayStation 4 world, I had 3 people. The first one was my best friend Nick, who was the one that got me into Destiny in the first place, but I kind of fell off the face of the earth. And by the time Destiny 2 Forsaken came out, I was the one that was shepherding my way, and he started getting on. And he was like, I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna fuse all my stuff, taking my slow way up. Eventually, it looked like he stopped playing almost entirely, or he was playing at different times.
Right.
Then I quit. But during that time, the other 2 people, I had our previous host, Cam, and then a fan of the show, Sam. And Sam is a fun person to play with. I got a huge kick out of playing with him. Cam, and so over on the PC side, the only person I could really think of that I'd really want to play with, in Destiny was, you, Nick. Yeah. And no offense, I felt like... there was all sorts of circumstances. I'm not going to make up shit. Yeah, I got the game for free originally, and then I got a nice kind of discount getting Forsaken, and then just everything kind of fell apart. But it just stinks because I feel like I need to pick one or the other. Do play Destiny 2 on PC or play Destiny 2 on the PlayStation 4? Because you are highly active with Destiny 2 for the most part. Nick is getting back, other Nick is getting back into the game with his sister and whatnot, but I have no idea how long that's going to last either way. I have no idea how long I'm going to keep playing this.
Well, I can tell you with the new content coming out on Tuesday the 5th, yes. I'm going to be playing a lot more consistently, and I'd be able to pull in a raid group together who would have no problem taking a person who's new to all the raids, through the raids.
So I remember you and somebody else, the other person that we were playing with that night.
Dose.
Thank you, Dose. Is there some kind of event that I can do that pretty much, somebody said you pretty much carry yourself to 650 in a couple hours or something like that?
Yeah, so that's coming out with the new content, what's it called? Season of the Drifter. But you do need the annual pass for that. But the problem is also you're not level 50. The moment you hit level 50, you're going to start leveling up a lot quicker because just a lot more things unlock. And I'd be hard pressed for what unlocks if you ask me about it right now, but I'm just telling you, I can tell you from memory, the moment you hit level 50, just everything becomes smooth sailing. Focus on that.
I think I'm currently at level 43 or something.
Right.
I want to play right now. What are we doing here, Nick?
We're recording this podcast we made a commitment to, but yeah.
Yes, we did. And I think that's pretty much going to be the games that we talk about then.
Tyler, are you ready to get controversial?
I'm not ready to get controversial at fucking all, but here we are. I'm here. I'm looking at the Abyss. The Abyss is looking back, and it has 1-star rating for me right now. Nick, I am officially, right now, declaring you the newsmaster, since this all came from you, and this all holds and entitles your opinion wholesomely, and none of my own, of course, or that of Casual Master Quest. Nick, take it away.
I wanted to talk about, because there's been plenty of time has passed, and I felt like it'd be appropriate to have a discussion about the state of diversity in video games, but not in a sense of appealing to publishers, just in a sense of why are people pieces of shit. All right. And I'm going to start this off, and there are two games in question here, Apex Legends and Overwatch. And if anybody's familiar with the Overwatch controversy that happened in early February, we'll get to that. We'll see what happened there. But now Apex is very similar to Overwatch in the sense that a character's background or lore has no effect on them in game, right? Like their personal life. But okay. Apex did believe that when the Respawn stated that when they created these characters, they created them as characters, as people. And there are a couple of characters that do identify as LGBTQ+. And this first article comes to us from a mother who left a review of Apex Legends on the Xbox store, I believe, from, what is this, tweaktown.com. I'm a little bit worried about that town, but it does come to us from that website. My son has been playing this game recently. There's only one problem. He keeps using the female characters. I think this game is turning my son transsexual. I'm not the only one that thinks this. Everyone in my Facebook group is having the same problem, this game and others. First of all, she can go fuck herself.
That went by a little bit quicker than I was expecting. Nick, do you mind if I role play a little bit?
Okay.
I'm going to be entitled single mother here.
Okay.
You be somebody that's reading this review. My son has been playing this game recently. There is only one problem. That's why she gave it a 1-star review. He keeps using the female characters. I think this game is turning my son transsexual. I'm not the only one that thinks this. Everyone in my Facebook group is having the same problem in this game and others.
And just to follow up with that, at the end of the article, this is a line that made me chuckle. But never fear, there are gamers who are playing Pathfinder saying Apex Legends is turning them into a transformer.
That's the truth here right there. What the fuck? The day of the robots is coming on us.
See, the only reason I put these articles up was because I'm very much of the mindset. I'm not about to appeal to any sort of political ideation that you might have.
Are you sure, Nick? Because it really sounds like you are.
No, all I'm saying is let people play games. What's so wrong in people enjoying the games that they play when they're just trying to, like, all right, this is a character who has all this background information, sure, but that's not relevant to the way the character behaves in the sandbox. They just happen to be of this particular gender, of this particular sexual orientation, but that has no effect on anything else. Also, the female characters in Apex Legends, specifically Wraith, have significantly smaller hitboxes, which is a mistake on the developer's part. So a character like Gibraltar, which is a big, hunky shield guy, he has a larger hitbox, despite the fact that all characters should have the same hitbox sizes. So if you want to not die as much, you're going to pick Wraith.
That's fair.
This review is coming from a mother who probably doesn't play the game and is trying to control the amount
Nick,
of time.
That's a very hard assumption that you're making right there.
And she's making the assumption that the game's turning her son transsexual.
I feel bad for this mother.
I'm not gonna say I can't say whether I feel good or bad about what's like this month, because there's no other information. We don't know how old her son is. We don't know where she's writing from. All I'm saying is, why is it so hard for people to not allow others to have fun in a harmless manner?
So I guess the big question here is on Casual Master Quest, why are we showcasing this? Why is the article showcasing this? One of the many most stupid reviews. I mean, it's hardly even in a comical sense. It just feels like a clickbait article at this point. we've seen so many of these. Obviously, a lot of them it would be considered a big problem and all of that stuff. It just feels like, oh, we're making maybe not a big deal out of nothing, but it just feels like we're trying to set. Are we trying to turn this woman into a pariah because she's an idiot?
Oh no, by no means. That wasn't my intention. I was just trying to showcase the kind of responses that games have been getting when they put out lore information like this, or the kind of reviews that people leave when really people are just trying to like create games that sure might showcase some diversity and represent everybody, but also like the point of the game is when the lore doesn't impact the gameplay whatsoever and is just there to give you some extra information so that people who like to write fanfics can go off and let their imagination run wild, or people who like to do fan art. That's the whole point of lore in games like Overwatch and Apex, where it kind of builds this world that doesn't impede with the actual gameplay, or like it tries to build a set of characters that you can relate to. There's the same reason why people can empathize with characters on a screen or certain characters in a book, and people are just trying to emulate that with video games, and it's not harming anybody, especially when a lot of these people are just strong, diverse characters all around.
Question for you.
Yeah.
When you play games that offer you the chance or the choice to pick either gender, which one do you usually gravitate towards?
It depends. Honestly, that depends. That's an interesting question. Like with Destiny, I wanted to have one of each race and then just switch it up. So I didn't pick in any particular manner. Like I think I made my Warlock, which is my main, in resemblance of me, a human male Warlock. And then I made my Hunter next, and I'm like, all right, the first one was a male, let me pick a female this time, let's pick a Woken. That was my thought process for Destiny.
Do you feel like this has or says anything about you as a character for doing this?
Possibly. That's interesting. Possibly. I've not thought about it that way. I just like being able to visually customize characters in that sense. There's some games where I'll just straight out pick certain genders because I'm like, okay, I know they have better looking armor sets, and it's all about aesthetics. Like Skyrim, for example, like there's just some like armor sets that look better on specific build types.
Fair enough. For me personally, for some reason, I noticed that I make a habit out of this. Almost all the time, I prefer to play female characters. I'm not sure, if it's, my mother didn't love me enough as a child or some bullshit like that. But I feel like there's got to be a reason for that. And most certainly, one of those reasons was not because I was turning transsexual. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in this lady's head.
No, that's exactly my point. Like, I'm not bothered with, on the other end, like the player's gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation. I'm like, if people are just doing something that pleases them and they're having fun with it and they're not hurting anybody, it's none of my concern. That's my bottom line in general.
Is there any characters in Apex Legend that is considered canonically to be transsexual?
Transsexual, I don't know. I'd have to look through the news articles again in general, but I do know that Gibraltar was confirmed as being gay. Okay. He's the main tanky guy, and there was another character that was confirmed as LGBT. I can't remember who.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Fantastic.
Yeah. And like again, linking that to the second article here that comes out of Kotaku, Australia. There's an article that comes to us by, let me see if I can, Jita Jackson, and she talks about how. About the issues that people bring up with how Apex has a political agenda and with pushing certain political beliefs or social beliefs onto impressionable people, kids particularly, because it is a free-to-play game, and like turning my son transsexual. She's like, well, there are some characters.
You have a son, Nick?
Yeah, I have a son.
Oh.
No, I don't. Not yet. Let's see. For example, here, they Respawn has confirmed Bloodhound to be non-binary, but there's no and in Apex, when you kill somebody, you play. You get to choose. If you don't choose one, there's already a default kill line that plays that the person you killed hears. But nowhere in the game is there any kind of like kill line that says, as Jita Jackson quotes, "I don't fit into the binary definition of gender as you getting killed by a bloodhound." So a lot of these, again, are not in your face. They're not there to like make a statement. They're just there to give people some information about the world that Respawn is trying to build with this free-to-play game.
Playing ignorance on this one, just for the sake of devil's advocate.
Yeah.
What do you see as the importance of doing something like this?
It gives everybody something to relate to, right? You have a wide set of people that just about in general everybody could relate to, right? If you happen to be like me, a dark-skinned bearded man, there's a guy with longish hair, a little bit hefty, who's also dark-skinned, and in this case again I'm talking about Gibraltar. I'm like, that guy looks kind of like me. I played him first when I picked up the game, right?
So do you feel like some players would play certain characters because they can relate to them better versus characters that they play and shoot better with? I
think they would do that initially in a game that they're not new with or don't know anything about, because I think you in an unknown environment, if you were to get on a plane with a surprise ticket that would take you anywhere, and let's say you landed in Azerbaijan and you're walking down the streets. Where? Azerbaijan.
I'm sorry, is that mythical or is that a real place?
No, Azerbaijan's in Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay. Anyways.
Like if you were to be taken there and then you're walking down the street and everybody's speaking, I believe they speak Russian and a few other languages. But the moment you hear some English, naturally you'd gravitate towards that to ask help or like to figure out what you could do in the area.
Help me. I'm stuck here. I don't know what the hell I should be doing. I'm American.
Right. So like that's how I see it in like why representation matters in general, because it gives you some familiarity and then you can build off that. And at that point it becomes in a sense irrelevant, because then you find characters that fit your play style and that work best for you. But you just start off with what you know.
Just a heads up, if I was ever in that position, I'd be, visiting. I'm assuming that's a large city.
Azerbaijan is a country. I don't know how big Azerbaijan is. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I would like to think that they have a U.S. embassy then, so I'd be heading straight for that.
Right. Yeah, but Azerbaijan is it borders Armenia and Georgia. Yeah.
Huh. Good choice. Good choice in that country.
Yeah, I figured I was like, what's the most obscure country I could think of that's not brought up a lot in daily conversation? So I picked Azerbaijan.
Hey, I picked Estonia. I like to think I did pretty good too.
And then all of this leads us out. Like, again, I want to reiterate, regardless of how you feel, I'm not trying to pick an argument with you. Not you specifically, Tyler, to our dear listeners. I'm not trying to appeal to anything. I'm just saying, don't be a shitty person, because this next article is about a truly stupid thing that occurred in the Overwatch Contenders League. The Overwatch Contenders League is is one division below, technically, to the Overwatch League that is currently going on. And it happens, actually, I don't know when it happens, and it is a fairly new thing, but it is getting quite popular. Tyler, do you want to read bits of this article, and then we can talk about it?
Absolutely. For those who don't know, a few months ago, there was a little scandal called the Ellie scandal. Happened on the Overwatch scene. There was a team called Second Wind who was trying to get Ellie on their roster for to be part of the Overwatch Contenders. I'm assuming for the OWL.
No, the Contenders is its own league, the Overwatch League, and then you have the Overwatch Contenders League. So they're two separate things.
However, it was later revealed that Ellie was in fact a Smurf account for a character known as Punisher. Or sorry, not a character, a player. And although I'm starting to disagree with a lot of the stuff that's happening and being said here due to the lack of context, it says that this was actually a prank meant to goof and laugh at somebody who's gonna pick this Ellie character, who I assume everybody's supposed to assume is a lady. The next line is extremely liberal.
Ellie is not a game character. He was pretending to be a female pro player.
Now, did he say that he was pretending to be a female pro player?
No, it was later discovered that he was pretending to be a female pro player.
It doesn't say anything about him pretending to be a female pro player anywhere in this article, so I'm kind of disappointed in how this was written out.
I can agree with that. Yeah, for anybody who's not completely familiar with Overwatch, it could be easily people could easily be confused as to the fact that Ellie is a character in the game, but no, Ellie is not a character in the game. Ellie is the handle for a player that they were considering recruiting for their roster.
Because I could just as easily say maybe this guy has a Smurf. Maybe, some could argue he was catfishing or something like that. Maybe he just likes the idea of having a name that's usually, back in our heydays, before we started to become more progressive, a lady's name. And I mean, I don't know if he was going out there, teasing out, saying, haha, I had a, experiment going on here and you activated my trap card. It doesn't say anything like this, but they're really painting this Punisher character as a social villain of sorts. It's really interesting how far they went with it in this article.
I should have done a better job at finding a better article. But what essentially happened was for a few weeks, Ellie was hired to be part of Second Wind's roster, and then it got leaked that it was actually a guy pretending to be Ellie, known as Reaper, and just according to this article, play a social experiment, which he had admitted to later on as a cover story. We're not exactly sure why he did it, but this has caused a lot of issues for women in general who play Overwatch.
I see.
I have several friends who cannot use in-game voice chat anymore because they've been called things such as, "Are you Ellie? You whore. You can't even play Overwatch. Why are you playing Overwatch? Why aren't you making a sandwich?" These are actual things that I've seen my friends being called or being told. And the Ellie situation made it even worse.
I see. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you tell me about this lady that's talked about in the article? Giguri?
Yeah, Giguri. She's a Korean tank player, and she currently plays for the Shanghai Dragons in the Overwatch League.
Okay.
She's officially, at least in the Overwatch scene, the first Overwatch League scene, the first female player to be added to the roster. Yeah, no, she's a pretty decent diva main, and as the article outlines, there's just a lot of people who don't believe it when a girl plays good, right? Why? Can you imagine? I just can't. Why can't people just leave people alone?
It stinks because I have a conservative view here, but it's actually in the opposite direction, I guess, where people go with this. And I don't know if this is going to get me in trouble, Nick. So let's see if you're not comfortable sharing it, you don't have to. But again, maybe you can help me understand out of blissful ignorance.
Okay.
A lot of these competitive esports games, I feel like people who would take this and play this serious are fucking morons. And so in my head, I can only expect a guy who, the culture has been focused around, regrettably, for most of the years, would be stupid enough to play such a competitive league that focuses around a video game that could easily die over a series of times. So it's weird that knowing that there's a lady that managed to trick herself into thinking that this would be a good idea to play in these god-awful stupid games series. And I know that this, I'm like, oh, Tyler, what are you doing? You've changed, Tyler. What's going on with you? So what do you think about that?
So the reality is that these have been predominantly male dominated scenes because culturally video games have been seen as a male centric thing for the longest time, at least since professional tournaments have started springing up 20, 30 years ago. And so I'm not surprised at the proportion of men to women. What I am surprised is the amount of resistance and challenge there is to other people entering the space.
That is interesting. I mean, once they got past that little line, like, all right, they're fucking committing, let them do their thing. Then I guess, yeah, you're right. It is kind of concerning how much trouble a woman could have just trying to get into the same field here.
We're not talking about a 6'2" a bodybuilder and like a 5'2" lady, some male bodybuilder and 5'2" lady like lifting the same amount, like 500 pounds. We're not talking about them being asked to do that. We're talking about people sitting down at a table with a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor and playing a game. In what situation does gender apply there?
Social and family values, I'm afraid.
That is
ones
true.
That need the change, very much so, but it's an unfortunate occurrence that unless we get a perfect social bubble,
that is the unfortunate reality. And stuff like this affects not only competitive play, but it also affects like regular play. People who are just playing to have fun, they have to be harassed for having fun.
Shit, man.
That's all these articles are about, Tyler. Really, I wasn't trying to make any grand controversial point. It's just why should people feel bad for having fun? They're not hurting anybody. They're just going about their day. It's somebody who works maybe in a lab. Somebody works maybe in like a design firm. They come home. They're like, oh shit, I want to play some diva because I'm good with her and she's cute. I want to play her. Or I want to play some soldier because I can aim well with him and he's fast. And they come home, they hop online, they start playing well, and she's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" It's like, "Shut the fuck up, you slut." How's that? How's that fair? Why should people have to go through that? That's I've never understood that. You know, if my sister decided to pick up video games one day, and then people started yelling at her just because of the fact that she sounds like a girl, like I don't get it, Tyler. I don't know why people are like that.
It is weird because a lot of people that you would think it wouldn't have that kind of effect with. Once they get sprung into the situation and it takes them by surprise, suddenly just opinions and thoughts come out of the woodwork. I've seen a lot of cases, where you just think a normal player that's just doing their thing, and all of a sudden they get confronted with something like this. And it shouldn't even be confronted at this point. It's just, they're just experiencing something and it's different from the norm that they're used to. And suddenly defense mechanisms come kicking in. Back in the day, it used to be racism and, other social caste systems where, I must be better than you because I'm good at this. And all of a sudden it's somehow evolved into video games. Obviously everybody knows that kind of stuff, but now that it's to the point to where it's, it's gotten so far up the cast where we're trying to press equality on everything that now it's gone to the most binary thing that we could possibly think of, a male and a female playing, the same game together. And suddenly people somehow manage to brainwash themselves with this ignorance. It's like, hey, you shouldn't be playing this game. And it is frustrating because there are people that I have a lot of friends who are ladies and whatnot, my wife, for example, who I want to play, certain games with, but A, she doesn't like those kind of games because she doesn't like interacting with toxic motherfuckers like yourself. Hi, Nick. And B, I feel like she would be afraid of being called out just for talking on the microphone.
And that shouldn't happen. Also, when have I ever been toxic towards you? I'm always toxic towards the other team, Tyler. It's never at you.
You represent me by being in vicinity with me as an ally. Do you think I forgot Sea of Thieves, man?
Oh no! We're not gonna have this debate again. We have very opposing views on Sea of Thieves and how it should be played, and we're just gonna leave it at that. Agree to disagree. But no, like seriously, it is sad that people are being pushed away from games that they think that they will enjoy because of how they'll be treated by idiots on the internet.
I feel bad for the guys that are called Ellie at this point. I know that sounds bad. Complete sideways, like there's actually guys out there called Ellie, so it's like I feel bad for them too. But it would have been nice to see another lady, hitting the big leagues and some of this stuff. I was never the guy that likes to watch football teams or anything like that. I'll occasionally watch League of Legends, just the tournaments there just for shits and giggles. So when it comes to this kind of stuff, as you heard earlier, I have like a really harsh take on it in the first place. Like, it's this stupid. Yeah. Who cares? Girls are smart. They shouldn't want to touch shit like that. And it's like, okay, maybe that's also still a wrong way of thinking of it. But, if people want to be knuckleheads, it shouldn't matter what their chromosomes are at that point.
Yeah, well, that's that. I'm glad at least we found some common ground. It'll see, not as bad as you thought it would be, right, Tyler?
So it's okay that you want to shoot other people on a pirate ship. It's just the way you talk to them while you do it.
Because I'm a pirate, Tyler. Let me role play in a pirate game.
If you said, "Yar me, baby, your booty is mine," no, it's like, "Get good, son." If I had the face of pirate in the Caribbean,
not even being. I'm just BMing. I'm not even being like racist. I'm not even being like discriminatory. I'm just telling them that if you attack me and you die, you should probably get good. Or if I attack you and I die, I'm like, fuck you.
If you're gonna roleplay as a pirate, you better poke your eye out with an eye patch with your extremely large E-peen over there with how cocky you get.
Tyler, I'm done with this. Agree to disagree.
Are you? I'll fucking fight you.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
No, because then you won't have anybody to carry you through a raid, so. Finally, a new bargaining chip I have over Tyler.
You know, this might be like the Christmas my father is supposed to give me for like the past 20 years. I have no idea if you'll actually take me through a raid. So
we'll do it. You just have to get up.
I have to get up.
What light level are you?
Wait, oh,
are you 400 plus?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can take you through Leviathan. I can arrange a time and we can actually take you through Leviathan.
With what's his name? Emperor Gallus or Gaius or something like that?
Callus.
Callus.
Yeah, Callus. Yeah.
That's fun. That fucker.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. But I think we're gonna move on to happy.
I know that my other friend Nick could on the PlayStation 4.
No, we will. We have a dedicated raid, not a dedicated, but like we have people I can call, and they'll come crawling out of the woodwork for a raid because raids are good times.
Well, I mean, not to help represent the social demographic of Destiny, but I have a friend who has a sister who would love to play with me, and I want to represent all genders here, Nick. So who am I supposed to go with? Some scrub lord like yourself, or a true Destiny player since the beginning? I've been playing Destiny.
So both cases you're talking about me.
Does your sister play?
No, you said a true scrub lord, a person who's been playing Destiny from the beginning. I've been playing Destiny since D1, since the year that it launched. And then D2, I played all through the worst period of D2, and I'm still playing D2. So, yeah, what are you talking about?
You've been playing since 2001, man? That's so awesome. I didn't even know you had an Xbox over there.
I'm a time traveler, dude.
No, I'm talking about Nick. Yeah, when he played Halo Combat Evolved over in 2001, he's been playing the original beta for Destiny. I fucking said it. That's right. Fucking fight me.
I mean, Destiny's still in beta, and if I'm being completely honest, this has all been just in a big early access.
Nah. For those who heard me in the beginning, I'm hungover as shit, so I've been clearly pulling so much shit out of my ass and getting deep and dark in thought and all that stuff. I'm roller coastering up because I had a huge surplus of sugar, but the moment we start talking about Nintendo or anything like that, I'm gonna go way back down. It's a good thing we don't have anything Nintendo to talk about because that'd be rough, Nick, right?
Well, hold on to your fucking hat, Tyler. We've got something to talk about in regards to Nintendo, but more specifically. The Pokemon Direct.
Ah, yeah, baby!
Tyler, I will remind you. Very specifically.
In the court of law, I must not lie at risk of perjury.
No, this is where it's just a good thing you didn't promise to eat a lei or a pen. So, before I get into what I'm reminding Tyler about, Nintendo has announced in a Pokemon Direct that happened a couple of days ago. I don't remember when that happened. But it was early in the morning, the Pacific Standard Time. I think it was 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Nintendo had finally announced and showcased the new generation of Pokemon games coming out on the Switch. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. And Tyler, it was beautiful. It was majestic, and I'm so fucking excited.
Are you? Good. I'm happy for you.
I'm gonna remind you before we start talking about this that you said that it's not gonna happen this year. You said a couple of episodes ago that we're not going to see anything Pokemon related this year, at least with the core RPG line.
For the core RPG line, I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to stick to my guns.
You're going to stick to your guns?
I'm going to stick to my fucking guns. Late 2019.
I'm afraid that you might be right.
Oh shit! Don't say that.
I'm afraid that you might be right and might get delayed, but late 2019, so roughly end of October, early-ish November. That's what we're looking at getting this game.
I'm pretty sure Pokemon Sun and Moon's release date was also in November, so I feel like that would be the perfect time for them to do it once again.
I think X and Y was October 23rd.
And for us over here, Sun and Moon was November 18th.
Okay.
So, I mean, it would make sense that they do it in November again. However, I just feel like they got a lot on their plate lately. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe Metroid Prime, I don't know. But
okay, this is not Nintendo, it's Game Freak.
Are we really going to go into their argument? Because it was Game Freak's second party at this point, technically?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but it's still it's still their own people.
Okay. Well, Game Freak is also working on another game, if you forgot.
What's it called? My Town?
I believe it was called something along those lines.
Yeah, I couldn't care less about that. I just want Pokemon. Tyler, what were your thoughts about Shield and Sword? Or Sword and Shield?
They're also working on something called Giga Wrecker Alt for some reason. I have no idea what the fuck that is.
That sounds cool.
It does sound cool. It sounds Japanese as fuck. When I saw it, I did want to note a couple of things, especially after I'm playing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon right now. So, doing the comparisons and all that stuff. First off, the graphics in comparison are gorgeous. Like, by far, it's a huge step. A lot of people, they think it's like, oh, Pokemon is looking great. It's been looking fantastic on the 3DS. And it's like, have you looked at it recently? Because I mean,
no, it was super framey with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Some places the frame just drops to like 1.
It's leap and bounds better than previous games. By far. Especially with the 3D models and all that stuff, they've really made a huge leap in how they handled and all that stuff. But it's still pretty blurry on the 3DS, and it's like when you play Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, and you just see those crisp graphics, you start to get a little freaked out. I'm like, whoa, it's like seeing Mario in Super Smash Bros. Like, oh shit, those are actual denim jeans. I thought he was just wearing fucking rubber. It's like you start to get to freak out how detailed they get. And they did not hold back when it comes to any kind of the details in this game. And it's going to look smooth and crisp as fuck.
I'm so excited. Like, did you see the worlds that they've built? Like, they built actual cities.
They built fucking London.
I can't fucking believe. I'm so excited. I'm very happy. Honestly, you have no idea how happy I am when the news finally broke. At least we know what they're called, and at least we know that they're coming, even if they get pushed back. That's all I wanted for the longest, like for the last few months.
So the names Sword and Shield, yay or nay? You like those or?
It's fine. I'm not. I'm indifferent. They were running out of fucking crystals and elements anyway, so I'm like, whatever. It was bound to start. They were bound to start going to inanimate objects like these.
I would laughed if they ever I know we have black and white, but I would have loved light and darkness, like DAHKNESS darkness, which would have fit if it was over in Great Britain, like this game is. So the region's called is it Galar? GALAR? I don't really remember what they actually pronounced it.
I'd spring to Galar.
Galar? Okay.
Yeah.
And so many people probably know that all the regions in each of the Pokemon regions are based off a real world area. For example, like the last one with Sun and Moon was based off the Hawaiian Isles.
Yep.
And,
X and Y, the Kalos region was based off France, and this is based off the United Kingdom.
Yes. The United Kingdom or just Britain? Because I don't remember seeing Ireland over there.
I think it's
sorry, I didn't mean to throw shade at you or anything like
no, Britain and Scotland.
Yes.
So a portion of the United Kingdom.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie here, I'm actually thrown off here because you got the United Kingdom, you got Great Britain. Great Britain's a bit of a way old term, so I didn't know if the United Kingdom,
because it's Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and then England. Possibly.
Let's see. It includes the island of Great Britain, the northeastern part of the island of Ireland, and many smaller islands. Okay. That sounds convincing. I mean, it has Ireland in it. That's the United Kingdom right there.
We were kind of right, yeah.
Kind of, sort of, mostly. But Ireland is obviously its own region for the most part after it declared its
Ireland and then there's Ireland and Northern Ireland.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
So the teaser trailer showcased the new starter Pokemon, and it showcased a lot of other Pokemon that were from various generations, possibly because they didn't want to, as has been the case with a lot of the games. There's always a nice mix of Pokemon from all generations, just across all of them, mixed in with the new Pokemon. So they also did that just to not spoil or reveal any other Pokemon yet. But yeah, we got the starters. We've got a grass monkey, a little cute little chimp. What's his name? Kirby. Yeah. Fire bunny named Score Bunny, and a sad water lizard, Sobel.
Sobel? Oh, I thought it was Sobel. Sobel sounds cooler, actually.
Sobel.
American, it'll probably be Sobel.
Yeah, probably Sobel.
It's like in Generation 1 over in Great Britain, it was like Squirtle. But now it's here, it's Squirtle. So, it's like, fuck it, America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding, by the way. Please, my British listeners, don't run. All of you.
But yeah, I mean, any other thoughts on the thing, Tyler? Yeah.
Nick, in the chat, you just said Wales could be DLC.
Wales could be DLC. All right, that's funny. That's true.
Yeah, like you said X and Y is based off of France.
Yes, sir.
So the Pokemon X and Y are the league is like in heavy competition with the one over here in Galar. Just Pokemon tennis is rough. Oh, competitions are about. Okay, I'm making terrible European reference. You're like, what are you talking about? So
no, but it's gonna probably fall along those lines if they keep up the animosity between the English and the French.
They got two big questions for you. The first one is, are you feeling Sword or Shield?
Shield.
Okay.
Which is strange because I usually go for the fast and hard hitting Pokemon, but I prefer red over blue, so that's why I'm going Shield. That's purely it.
I honestly feel like all the people that I'm gonna play with, I didn't ask the other Nick, I didn't ask Brandon, I didn't ask Amanda or anything like that, which one they would pick. I feel like they would all pick Shield.
Yeah.
And for that, I think I would pick Sword. So
are you gonna sacrifice yourself?
I mean, I'm okay with Sword. I feel like I'm kind of thrown off that the logo of the Sword and Shield has a wolf's head of some sort. Or is that a Lycanroc? I wouldn't...
Yeah, I'm interested. They've always usually incorporated symbols attributed to the legendary version legendaries, the exclusive legendaries. So we'll see what happens.
This is throwing me off. There has not been any shown legendary yet. And, I mean, they still got a ways to go. It just feels like when it comes to this kind of game, it would show like an outline or something.
That's what I was expecting. Actually, I was discussing this with a friend of mine, or I don't know if it was actually with you. I was expecting the Pokemon Direct to showcase at the very least, outlines of the starter Pokemon, because that's what they did. I remember when I started following Pokemon releases, it was with Pokemon Platinum, and that's when they showcased like the outlines, and they didn't really show much. And then a few months later, we finally got some information. So what's probably going to happen here is we know what the starters are going to look like over the next few months. We're going to possibly look at some of the starting birds, the starting like normal type or whatever as trends go. Maybe get some evolutions for the starters. But then around May, June is when we'll probably get the legendaries, because that's usually when we get more information about the upcoming Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm. Second question I had for you was, which one looks like your favorite starter so far?
Why don't you answer that first? Because I've been doing a lot of talking. Or I could just go.
Impeccable timing, Nick.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
No, it's okay. It's okay. For the audio listeners, TMI, the chair was pinching my balls like a son of a bitch.
Again? Okay, yeah.
Again. And of course, I'm trying to like adjust myself proper and...
Well, to be fair, I didn't have any kind of warning. You just kind of you hit me with the question. I'm like, all right,
I want to hear what Tyler says. The question, I'll get 10 seconds. I'm an old man. I hang low now. Can't get a fucking break. Why don't you answer the question, you old man? I was like...
just for the record, I did not use old man. He did it himself, so it's okay for me to use it now. Tyler,
Social Security.
Which of these starters is looking like your thing?
Honestly, Grookey, I think.
Yeah.
Which is weird for me because I've always been a water guy. I always pick the water Pokemon. like when I was a kid, I was originally a Squirtle guy, but then I started doing fire every single time.
Mhm.
But then I'm starting to appreciate it. It's like Blastoise was cool, Feraligatr was cool. Oh shit. What's the third
Feraligatr is one of
one?
my favorite water types.
Swampert, I'm thinking.
Swampert, yeah.
And I mean it just always felt like the grass one was always lacking in some shape or form.
Agreed.
And the only one I can really think where grass was really putting a hard push back, especially in competitive play, was Superior with the hidden ability Contrary. And that was nice to have, especially with, I believe it was called Magical Leaf or Leaf Storm, something like that, because it would, instead of lowering the special attack, it would increase it. And that was nice. But I feel like Amanda would love Score Bunny. Brandon, I'm pretty sure, is going to get Sobble, or Sobble, whatever the hell you call it. So I figured I would go for Grookey. So,
yeah.
There was somebody joking, and I was like, "Well, I'm see if Grookey actually evolved into a normal person that like really liked pot or something."
That's funny. I generally pick the fire types. What's up?
What? Oh, go ahead. No, I did ask you the question.
Wow.
What was that you said?
I generally pick fire types. That's usually been my thing, just because the fire types, if in general, are some of the more harder hitting and faster Pokemon, but that's not always been the case. Like, what was it?
I think Blaziken when you say that.
Blaziken and Infernape. Infernape is by far my favorite Pokemon across all generations. But yeah, no, Sobble looks interesting because I want Sobble to be a water dragon type.
Ooh, what if they are all dragon types? That way they can still be weak to each other, but it'd provide an interesting.
That's probably not going to happen, but
it's England. The dragon would be the big thing, wouldn't it?
Actually, you're right, but. I mean, can you imagine? I can imagine a dragon bunny. Imagine he's just swole as fuck and he's just standing there with wings and like a dragon's head on a bunny's body.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? I like that idea.
Or like a giant monkey just swole as fuck but with a dragon's head.
It's actually a human but has dragon wings. It's a cosplayer.
I think
cosplayers.
I think Grookey will be grass rock. Score Bunny was probably going to be fire electric. Sobble will probably be water dragon. Not probably. That's my guess. And so I'd have to wait for the actual final evolutions, the typings to actually start building a team and decide. But I would probably pick Sobble. Just from just looking at them, I'd pick Sobble.
All right. I guess. I don't know. It stinks because when I chose my choices last time with Sun and Moon, I'm trying to remember. Popple? What was the name of the water starter?
Fuck, you're gonna put me on the spot here. Sun and Moon's the one that I paid the least attention to. I can name just about any other Pokemon.
It's a little seal. Poplio, thank you.
Poplio, yeah.
I stuck with that, thinking that he was going to turn into this badass walrus or something like that.
And he turns into Primarina, yeah.
Yeah, Primarina or Primarina, whatever you want to call it. Which, was still pretty cool, but it's like I wanted a nice big buff daddy or something like that. Get my power fantasy. Meanwhile, Amanda, who had Litten, turned into Incineroar. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So it's like, I'm afraid I'm gonna goof up on this one again, man. And on a side note, Brandon had pointed this out, and I want to post it to you. I sent you an Injure link. How there's a lot of comparison with the starters to the Powerpuff Girls of all things.
Oh yeah, I saw this picture. Yeah, it was funny to see as well.
That's pretty weird because not only do they match, like for example, Score Bunny's ears look awfully similar to that of Blossom. It has like the same hair schematic for the most part.
Yeah,
Blossom is pink and red. Bubbles has blue, and then obviously Buttercup with green. All fucking match in some shape or form to the fucking thing. Do you think it's a coincidence or not?
I think it's entirely coincidence, but I love the Powerpuff Girls, so I'd be happy with however that turns out.
I'd be okay with that too. And thus, the starter Pokemon are born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Water, fire, and green shit, butter.
Everything was fine until the Air Nation attacked.
Oh, I was going to say, Professor, what's his fuck, the make the perfect little stutter. But then the professor accidentally dropped something else. Dragon type. Hey, I think once you introduce the idea of them all being dragon types, so they could technically it'd be unconventional or conventional, and I think it would be hilarious because like when people think of dragon types, they often compare them to almost like pseudo legendary levels with how strong they can be.
Yeah.
And so the idea of having starters that are legit super strong straight from the get-go or something like that, and all of them being dragons, being the 3 dragon trios or whatnot, that'd be cool as shit. Obviously, it's pure speculation. Yeah. I'm trying to think if you could apply to any single type, like a monotype like that, to all 3 of them, what would be another good one?
Ghost. I think that would be interesting.
So a fire ghost, a water ghost, and a grass ghost.
Technically, I think we have those typings already exist. I don't know about water ghost. Does water ghost exist?
Grass ghosts exist for Decidui, which is ironic. Did you know the origin behind that?
No, I didn't.
Decidui is based off a type of owl that is mostly originated in Hawaii, which has gone extinct. That is why it has the ghost type.
Yikes.
Dark as shit, man.
Dark as fucking shit. Let's see here. Water ghost does exist. I forgot about Frillish and Jellicent.
And also, fire ghost does exist because we got that fucking lantern Pokemon.
Yeah, Chandelure.
Chandelure. I was going to say Lampiran. Is that the base form?
Chandelure, the final version. It goes Litwick, Lampent, and then Chandelure.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. I mean, let's see. I'm going to stick with the dragon. The fucking dragon would be the coolest.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Bunny dragon.
But it's always been whenever they introduce secondary types that the secondary types also balance each other out in a circle. Like I think when they really started doing that with starters was what do you call it? Generation 4 when they balanced out the secondary types. So with Sinnoh, with the Sinnoh Pokemon, you had Empoleon, Infernape, and Torterra, right? So Torterra beats Empoleon, who beats Infernape just on the primary type, and then Infernape beats Empoleon, who is beaten by Torterra. That doesn't work. My theory has been disproven live here on Casual Master Quest episode 41. Do not listen to the speculations of somebody who doesn't know anything.
But if they all have dragon beats dragon, and dragon is not affected, offensively to water, fire, or grass, so they could all be super effective each other in a counteraction. I guess they would break down to who could go first at that point.
You're right.
I mean, something similar to that line. So one could be tankier, one could be a sweeper, another one could be a status condition kind of. Well,
also Score Bunny appears to be based on a soccer player. I'm going to use that term for you North American listeners. So it would be what's the word I'm looking for? It wouldn't be impossible to speculate that it would be a lightning type, electric type of final form, because soccer players being fast, or some sort of another type that you can associate with speed. But yeah.
I wonder what Lopunny and Score Bunny are going to be like handling each other.
Probably a lot of fuck it because they're bunnies.
Jesus Christ, that escalated a lot quicker than what I was expecting.
Rule 42, Tyler.
Wait, what rule?
Or is it 43? Either or.
Rule 34?
34, that's the rule. Yeah,
if there's a Pokemon bunny that exists, there will be porn of it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Time to kill the weebs.
I just realized this is why. Holy shit! This is why I'm fucking picking Pokemon Sword. Oh, I do got a shield up there.
Interesting.
But I got 2 swords.
Overall, how are you feeling about that Pokemon Direct on a scale of 1 to 10?
Super hyped. It will be exciting to be able to play it on the Switch. There's a couple of drawbacks to this, though. The first one is I'm going to have some difficulty trading or doing whatnot with anything with my wife if we shared the Switch together.
Right.
Because, if we're in the same console.
That's why, to speak to that, they're probably going to update Pokemon Bank to work with the Switch. And so if that happens, you upload to the bank, connect with a different account, and then draw from the bank.
Oh, that sounds exciting! Oh, swing of the sword. Oh gosh, that sounds.
They're probably going to do that, and also
my life's in danger.
They brought back catching Pokemon with Pokeballs. You go out in the wild, you fight a Pokemon, you weaken it, and you catch it with a Pokeball. Thank fuck.
They only did that with one game. Well, technically 2 games.
Tyler,
Pokemon Go, Nick.
could you have said with any confidence that they wouldn't do that going forward with the series?
Oh, you're afraid once they announced it way back in the day with Let's Go that they might have been cutting that out for good.
Can you tell me with confidence that they wouldn't have done that, or there was no possibility of that happening?
I feel like when did Let's Go come out? I believe last November or something like that.
Yes.
Ah, man. I mean, that would have been 3 months for them to decide if they're going to keep battling or not. I was going to say maybe if they decided based off the sales of Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, but no, I don't think they would have done that. Nintendo might have considered it, but I don't think Game Freak would have done it. There's only one time that I'm aware that Game Freak has deviated from the catching schematic, and that is for goddamn Pokemon pinball. I don't think there's any other necessary way of doing this. I have faith in my second-rated companies. I am my own sword, okay?
Understood.
You can hide behind your shield over there, Nick. Yar.
Carry on with your review of that Pokemon Direct.
Thank you. Okay. Anyways, is there anything else about the Pokemon Direct that you want to make a strong point out of?
No, I'm just very happy. I'm very excited. As always, I've heard plenty of hatred, not hatred, but dislike.
Hatred. There's no hatred in this video game world.
Of the Pokemon design, and all I'm going to say to that is Generation 5 was probably the worst for that. And so I would hold off on any judgment until we see all the Pokemon.
The first time I looked at the Direct, I almost felt like the Pokemon that I saw for the starters actually looked kind of bland. But I just think I really looked at how round each of their faces looked at the same time, and they didn't look too different to me. Right. Especially Sobble and Grookey for the most part, because they just look like a bunch of round heads with random things attached to it. But you know, they had some differences. Scorbunny obviously was the athletic running around, leaving flame tracks in his wake. Grookey, for whatever reason, his little piece of wood that he has in his leaf hairstyle, which he only has 2 leaves, but I guess he's holding them both together with the stick of wood, was slapping against a rock, saying, "Hey, I'm here, motherfuckers," and scaring away the Sobble, who was resulted in hiding in the fountain. I feel like Sobble is probably the least original out of the 3 of them. It doesn't look that inspiring to me. It's kind of upsetting.
I would counter argue that with Poliwag, and not with Poliwag's Final Evolution Poliwrath, but rather Politoad. It ends up pretty different, and if you take into account that you have frogs, tadpoles, they can change pretty quick. So I'm just gonna wait and see what Sobble evolves into.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna evolve into something nice. I'm just saying the base design, I just feel like it leaves a lot to be desired.
That's fair.
Maybe I was expecting more texture to the Pokemon skins that obviously isn't present here. Everything's like smoothed over and cel shaded, which I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I saw the Detective Pikachu movie, and I was expecting horrific, realistic looking Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm just excited whenever we get official artwork because from whoever's doing it this time. I hope it's still. Did Ken Sugimori do it for Sun and Moon?
Wait, what's going on here?
So Ken Sugimori is one of the core illustrators, and he's designed a lot of Pokemon. But he did take a step back from a few of the more recent games, so I'm just wondering if that's some of his style for these newer games. We'll see. We'll find out.
Right. Oh boy. Well, I think that's it, Nick. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap the show up?
I think that was a banger of an episode to start off the season with.
Do you think so? Because I felt murderous for a good portion of it. Okay. Game releases, Nick. We got 5 games that are coming out this week. 3 of them are on the same day, which is going to be Tuesday, March 5th. The first one is going to be Left Alive, which I've never heard of this game. Have you, Nick?
No, I've not until I looked at the thing, and then it is a Square Enix game.
Square Enix? What the fuck?
It was released in Japan on the 28th of February, and so it is coming. This is the official Western release. It is a shooter video game developed and published by Square Enix.
It's supposed to be a spin-off of a game called Front Mission, which I've never heard of either. What in the hell's going on here? I thought Quiet Man was going to fucking cripple them for at least an hour when they got Left Alive, which The splash
And
art
it
on
appears there's a bunch of issues with the game so far. But anyways, that's Square Enix at its
Square
finest.
Enix appears to have disabled streaming for Left Alive amidst a rough. Oh my. Okay, so they don't want them streaming it. That's a good start before we even see it. I might wait on that, folks. I don't know. A untalked about game by Square Enix is kind of a scary game, considering they've been hyping Final Fantasy VII for years. Okay, sure. The Occupation. Now, this is also coming on March 5th. It's publisher is the Humble Bundle. Look at that.
This is interesting. So this game here is a first-person immersive simulation in which you play as a whistleblowing journalist. That's pretty cool. It's a single-player video game, and you play as a whistleblower.
Now, is this what's the genre for it? A stealth game. It's a stealth game. This is a stealth game.
Yeah, I mean, considering whistleblowers are generally ousted from whatever organization that they whistle blew, it would make sense that they would make this a stealth game.
All right, fair enough. Next up is RBI Baseball 19 coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Shout out to Nintendo Switch. I didn't expect them to get it. Also, Occupation's coming out on the same systems. Left Alive is only coming on PS4 and PC. It's baseball, folks. Coming out on the 8th, which I believe is Friday. We have 2 games coming up. First one is Devil May Cry 5, which I thought was already out. I don't know what the hell is going on here. So what's going on here, Nick? Have you played a Devil May Cry game?
I've never played a Devil May Cry game, but according to my sources on the internet, it does come out on the 8th of March, 2019.
Yeah, sure as shit. I must be thinking of Devil May Cry 4 or the Devil May Cry reboot that I thought went good, but obviously did not. So we got that coming out.
I thought there was a lot of hype for this game. It just surprises me that this seems almost like a soft launch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I haven't seen a lot of excitement around the launch, considering we're only about 5 days away from it.
I mean, if there's one thing I've noticed about Capcom with their games, with some exceptions, of course, like for example, Resident Evil 2, they really don't spend all the big bucks in terms of advertising. Like all the Phoenix Wright games that came out have been really quiet releases, even if they do well. Same thing for a lot of the Mega Man games. And I would have thought they'd put the big bucks out for a Devil May Cry, just put them in the right spot so people start getting hyped for it. But
considering that it's coming after an attempted reboot in Devil May Cry 4, which released a considerable amount of time ago.
Right. Huh. Well, best of luck to them. And lastly, I don't know why we're even talking about this, Nick. I saw this in the store, actually.
It's a game release, so I put it out.
It's a game release. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which I don't even know if that's a sequel or just a remake of Kirby's Epic Yarn, but it's coming out for the 3DS. Why? I have no fucking idea. Maybe all the 3DS players are like, hey, we're supposed to get a game that signifies the death of our console. It's supposed to be a Kirby game. It's like, here you go. Here's a rehash. Thank you, Nintendo.
It's an enhanced port.
An enhanced port? Is that the term now?
Yeah, that's the term for Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. It is an enhanced port. So probably some quality of life changes, maybe a few visual updates, but nothing major beyond that.
Do we have any idea what the price point for this is? Because if this is $40, I'm going to be a tidbit upset. But I mean, you're off about it, right?
$40.
God fucking damn. First they fucking do this for Luigi's Mansion, a GameCube game. Okay, no, that's fine. Good luck, Nintendo. Nick, can you take off with this day in gaming, please?
So I did wanna start this day in gaming off with 2016 because I didn't want to get slaughtered by Tyler again. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is officially now in the Nintendo eShop on the Virtual Console in Japan. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess got its eShop release on the Wii U in Europe and United States, and the Twilight Princess HD Limited Edition got its Wii U version released in Europe. It's all in 16, March 4th. And then the only other notable game for me that stood out on this list was Pokemon Black and White coming out in the UK on the Nintendo DS in 2011, March 4th.
And a game called South Park: The Stick of Truth came out for consoles and PC this day in 2014. Oh, did I slip that one on you? I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm just looking through the list again. Yeah, nothing
Make
else.
sure
really
I don't
stood
find
out for me.
anything that I try to scour you with.
Let's see, 2004, Mega Man X7 came out, which I played a little bit of it, but this was in France. You have, I believe we had this conversation maybe a couple of months ago,
What's
that
that?
you haven't touched anything beyond Mega Man X3, was it? Or X4?
X5 for the PlayStation.
X5, yeah, that's what the conversation
In
was.
fact, that is the only one I touched.
But yeah, beyond
Hey, might as
that,
well be honest, right?
it's a quiet list.
Let's see. Scar.
Megami Tensei Gaiden Last Bible 3 released in 1995 on the SNES in Japan.
How about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Nick? Came out for the PlayStation 2 in 2005 this day in all of Europe.
Awesome. I've
It's
never
not
played
like- It's like you don't even know me, Nick.
I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game. That's why I told you to look through the list and add accordingly, Tyler.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance came out PlayStation 2 in 2003. Oh. I'm so full of shit. Oh man, what a time to be alive. I'm hoping there's like a super old one, just like that big heavy hitter. Let's see. Huh? No. Okay, fine. I'm done. I'm full of shit. Disregard me, please. Cut me off. Wait, no, I'm hosting. Fuck. So thank you very much for listening to this beautiful episode of Casual Master Quest. Thoughtful, controversial, you name it, we thought it. Wrap ups. Let's see what's going on here. Nick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LRWarrior11. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv / LRWarrior11.
Ooh, did you get a new name finally? /
No, that's not it.
That'd be cool.
I don't like that. But yeah, I do some gaming every now and then. With school, it's been hard to stream regularly, but when I do, it's always fun. And it's
Yes,
always
it
a good
is.
chill time. Yeah, no, that's it for me. If you wish to fight me on any of my comments that I've made today during our modular segment where I talk about diversity in gaming, please do reach out. Not only towards me, but towards the show, which Tyler will let you know where you could find us at.
But first, if you have any comments that you would like to say in regards to me, you can find me over at twitter.com/2timestyler. All letters, all one word. Wow, this is actually pretty sharp. Anyways, you can also find Casual Master Quest, referred to the larger sword behind me. I'm sorry, I'm threatening people's swords. You can find us on Twitter at MasterQuestPod, or you can email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Casual Master Quest.
Hell
Nick,
yeah.
is that it?
That's pretty much it.
Cool. I got a sword to play with. I'm gonna swing around until I stab a cat or myself. Whatever happens first. Hopefully me. I deserve it. The cat doesn't.
Well, before you do that, please don't forget to never stop the grind.
I'm gonna grind the sword so it's sharp enough to, cut, slice, warm butter, something.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, and we'll see it next week without being imprisoned or something. Until then, bye bye.